As a sports fan and a fan of just finally seeing something live happen, what would you say about your excitement level of being able to pull this off?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm actually excited to be in another city and be going to a fight on Saturday. So, and obviously, I can't stop thinking about or talking about the main event. As a promoter, you can never guarantee that a fight is going to deliver and be what what it looks like it could be on paper. I can absolutely guarantee that this fight delivers just stylistically and as far as the mentality goes of both of these fighters. I expect this to be one of the picks for fight of the year.
Dana, this is the anniversary. Yesterday was actually to the day the anniversary of Corrales Castillo 1, which is the best fight I've ever seen. A boxing lightweight championship fight. I flew out to Vegas on my own dime. That was a Showtime fight. I was working HBO at the time. But that was one of those fights you knew you wanted to be there for, even though the arena was only half full. This is kind of one of those fights for MMA, isn't it? I was asking Ferguson yesterday on the show, what are you doing fighting Gaethje when you got Khabib? You got the Nurmagomedov fight right there. Right there. You're risking it against this guy as a promoter. What does it mean to have a guy like Ferguson willing to step up against anyone?
Yeah, first of all, I watched that fight this morning. I watched that fight. And you're right. And the thing is with Tony Ferguson, no posturing, no question about it. When Khabib fell out, he stepped right in. He'll take on anybody. And if you don't make Tony versus Khabib, you make Tony versus Gaethje. This is the fight to make. It's the best fight out there in the division right now. And I respect both guys for stepping up and taking this fight.
Dana, appreciate you being on the show as always. Ferguson Gaethje, I want you to talk a little bit more about this fight in comparison to what Ferguson versus Khabib would have been like. Because that's what people are looking at. They were thinking about him going up against Khabib. Now it's against Gaethje. Can you talk about the differences in your estimation and what makes this fight so exciting compared to what it would have been?
The big difference between this fight and the fight with Khabib is there would have been a lot more grappling, I think, in the fight with Khabib. Everybody knows Khabib will get in there. He'll mix it up. He'll go toe-to-toe with you. But he wants to get you to the ground. He will pin you down, and he smashes you, is what he does. There will probably be none of that. I'm not saying that this fight couldn't go to the ground, and both guys are well-versed on the ground. This fight is going to be toe-to-toe. I expect it to be a stand-up war until somebody gets knocked out. When you look at somebody like Tony Ferguson, he has so many different ways to beat you, standing in on the ground, but he throws crazy flying knees, spinning elbows, things that you just can't prepare for. You can't prepare and train for Tony Ferguson. And Justin Gaethje loves to move forward. He can knock you out with both hands, and that's what he tries to do from bell to bell.
Who do you think has the styles match up there, Dana? Because on the one hand, Gaethje's going to get in your wheelhouse and put the pressure on. And on the other hand, a guy like maybe that takes away some of the kind of unorthodox stuff or unexpected stuff that works so well for Ferguson. Who do you think has the styles matchup?
Well,
the styles.
Yeah, it's a great question because, both guys put constant pressure on their opponents. They continue to move forward. They continue to throw bombs. They try to take you out everything that they throw. So when you have two guys that are doing the same exact thing, I'm telling you, this fight is impossible not to be crazy, unbelievable, and incredible. This will be one of the best fights of the year. I expect both guys to do the exact same thing. Move forward, use tons of pressure, and throw bombs and try to finish the fight. It's going to be fireworks from the minute it starts till it ends.
Dana, I got to admit, it's almost impossible to root against Tony Ferguson if you watched his interview when he came on First Take a day ago, because he's an incredible promoter for the sport. I mean, he's very articulate. We know that he's an elite fighter, and he has the kind of attitude that I think fans gravitate to. But he also said some interesting things. He talked about Khabib. He feels like Khabib is ducking him and was running, and he's lost respect. And he's like, I ain't even think about it. I don't want to fight anybody that doesn't want to fight, have an excuse. With Conor McGregor, he brought him up and brought up chicken McNuggets for crying out loud, and that's what he labeled Conor McGregor. He said those kind of things as if these are guys that don't really want to fight him, that find excuses. What can you tell us about why the Khabib fight did not take place with Ferguson? Could you refresh our memory about what transpired and whether or not you think those fights are down the road in the future for him or Gaethje with those guys?
Well, obviously, as that fight was getting closer and closer, the world was changing by the day. And I can tell you right now, Khabib was ready for that fight. He wants the fight. And, we all made some mistakes that led to Khabib getting sent back to Moscow, myself included. So he wants the fight. He just said as soon as Ramadan is over, he's training, he's ready to go. And, we can make the fight with whoever wins this Saturday. So I promise you, Khabib is ready and down to fight. And we'll see what happens on Saturday. And we'll see if we can make something quick and get that fight going again.
Dana, one of the things that a lot of people have been curious about is just how you're going to take the safety precautions with everybody involved here to make sure everybody's safe. And you've been very forthright about that with the testing that you have in place. Just let people know exactly what you're doing with all that with your fighters and the other people that will be present.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be no crowd here on Saturday night. We've cut the amount of people that are working on the event down over half of what normally works here. And, everybody's being tested, multiple testing, 2 different types of testing. We're doing everything that we can to make sure that this event is as safe as possible. Nothing is ever 100% guaranteed, but health and safety is something that we worry about every weekend that we put on an event, not just because of COVID-19.